Sa mga huling buwan ng nakaraang taon, kung saan ang karamihay hindi pa tuluyang nakasasabay sa daluyong ng pandemyang hindi pa lumulubay, bagyo at baha ang siya namang sumalakay. Hindi lamang isa, kundi dalawa pa ang nagbanta upang sitwasyo'y maging kaawa-awa. At hindi nga naging ligtas sa pagragasa ng baha ang ibang parte ng lalawigan ng Isabela at ilan pa nga sa mga paaralan ay walang kawala. Hirap na nga ang lahat sa pangangapa sa bagong sistema ng edukasyon. Ay mas pinahirap pa dahil ang mga huling sandatang gagamitin sa pagpapadaloy ng kaalaman ay inanod na nga ng tuluyan.
Sa naranasan nating pagbaha, hindi naiwasan ng karamihan ang magsisihan. Iba't ibang opinyon sa kung saan nga ba nagsimula ang ganitong sakuna, nagturuan at nagbangayan. Ngunit kung titingnan sa kabilang banda at matamang susuriin, hindi ba't nagsusumigaw ang kasagutan sa ganitong kaganapan? Ang lugar na minsay sagana sa luntian ay unti-unti nang napalitan ng mga establishmentong hindi kayang sumipsip ng tubig ulan. Ngunit hindi ito dapat magtapos sa pagpuna lamang, kundi sa pagbibigay solusyon sa problemang nakaabang. At kung aksyon ang pag-uusapan, nanguna na nga ang Dibisyon ng Isabela sa pangunguna ng Division Disaster Risk Reduction Management Unit sa pagresolba sa ganitong suliranin sa paglulunsad nila sa kanilang Project TreeTY o Tree Thank You. Isang paraan ito upang sa muli ang ating lalawigan ay maging puno ng puno.
Hindi na nga may pagkakaila ang unti-unti nating pag-unlad. Patunay na nga rito ang mga konkretong daanan, mga gusaling naglalakihan. Hindi naman masama ang progreso, lalo na at ito ay nakatutulong sa pag-aaral ng mga bata sa bagong normal. Ngunit kung ang kalakip ng pagbabagong ito ay ang pagputol sa mga punong siyang sasagip sa kinabukasan ng bawat mag-aaral, ito ay dapat nating bantayan.
Kaya naman ang TreeTY na tinaguri ang most ambitious campaign dahil sa layunin nitong makapagtanim ng 10,000 puno ay isinakatuparan upang itaguyod ang hangarin nitong mapabuti ang kalidad ng edukasyon sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay sa mga bata ng ligtas at maayos na kapaligiran, kung saan sila ay makapag-aaral lalo na sa mga naitatag na mini forest parks sa lalawigan. Hangad rin ng programang ito na palawigin ang kamalayan ng mga mag-aaral at guro patungkol sa kanilang kapaligiran at upang imulat sa bawat isa ang mga gampanin nila upang lalong mapangalagaan ito.
To the resilient and very humble Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Madelyn Macalling, the very supportive Assistant Schools Division Superintendents, Dr. Edna Piacuan and Dr. Dante J. Marcelo, the two functional division chiefs, Sergius Antonio of the SGOD and Sir Rod Pasqua of CID, fellow education program supervisors, senior education program specialists, education program specialists, public school district supervisors, school heads, teachers, and other stakeholders. Pleasant morning. At the outset, may I congratulate the proponent of Project TreeTY, or we call it Tree Thank You, Mr. Chris L. De La Cruz, our DRRF coordinator, for initiating this activity and for coming up with this project in support to RA 9512, otherwise known as National Environmental Awareness and Education Act of 2008, and the Executive Order Number 26 Series of 2011 declaring Interdepartmental Convergence Initiative for National Breeding Program. According to Wangari Maathai, until you dig a hole, you plant a tree, you water it, and make it survive, you have not done a thing. You are just talking. And for this activity to attain its purpose, let us make sure that the trees that we are going to plant today will be beneficial to the future generations. Now, we are enjoying sitting in the shade because of the efforts of those who planted trees long time ago. And we really would like that our grandchildren and our grandchildren's children will also be enjoying playing under the shade of the trees that we are planting today. Hindi lang po tayo hahangga sa pagtatanim. Ito'y dapat nating alagaan at siguraduhin na ito'y mapapakinabangan ng mga susunod pang henerasyon para masabi natin na meron tayong nagawa para sa inang kalikasan. Thank you very much for joining us in this endeavor, and may God bless us all.
Good day, everyone. As we enjoyed the launching of this project TreeTY, or the Tree Thank You, and the tree planting activity of SDS Isabela, may I extend my greetings to our very own Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Madelyn Macalling, together with our two Assistant Schools Division Superintendents, Ma'am Edna Piaguan and Sir Dante Marcelo, for inspiring us in the division to conduct such a very significant activity like this. And so, as we go through this project TreeTY, through virtual launching, may I also congratulate our DRRM coordinator, Sir Chris Ismael, for having this activity, so that we will be again reminded of the different activities and how we will protect our environment. As we go through this Republic Act 9512, wherein it is more on the National Green Program, it is really time for us to extend our text, because the project is project TreeTY, no? So thank you for the benefit that we could get from this from our trees. Ito yung sa ating mga tinatawid natin. With this, knowing that many benefits that we could get from the tree, like for instance, we need to thank for giving us fresh air, or even cleaning the air and giving more oxygen for all of us with the help of our trees. That's why we need to plant trees. Of course, we are also thankful. We should be giving thank you again for providing us shades, because as we always feel outside, napakainit, so we need to plant trees, plant more trees to also have shade, and of course to lower the temperature that we have in our the present situation. And also we also need to plant tree for our wellness, considering that even there is a pandemic, we need to still go on and of course to decrease our mental health problems, because as we try to plant, as we try to grow and nurture a tree, it will really help us. And so part of this, we need to continue plant trees, to continue advocating the benefit of planting trees, the benefit of having this very green, national green program implementation. We really need to learn, or to educate every learner in order to appreciate the benefit of the trees that we have. And of course, we are doing this for the next generation and the generations that will come for our children. And so with this activity, let's all enjoy the day, and we will also implement in our respective schools, in our respective areas, in our home, and even in our offices wherein we need to plant trees for our future. With that, thank you very much, and happy tree planting, everyone. God bless and stay safe, everyone. Thank you very much.
To the woman, always think for a positive output as well as positive outcomes of all things that we're doing in the SDS Isabela, or Schools Division Superintendent, a public servant, Dr. Madelyn Macalling. Greetings also to our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Edna Abuan, always looking forward for the constant giving of motivation and inspiration to all the personnel of the SDS Isabela. And our SGOD Chief, Dr. Jesus Antonio, and also to the Chief of the CID, Dr. Rod Pasqua, and to all of our viewers, good morning. There is an old adage or saying that goes as barking at the wrong tree. The problem is that talking something to the wrong person. Unfortunately, education this time is constantly acting as barking at the wrong tree. Sometimes we thought of the correct solution to a certain perspective, problem of education, but it is not. Just recently, we are experiencing calamities, disasters, and other natural or artificial environmental adversities. These destroying calamities overwhelm school infrastructures, leaving these destroyed facilities into useless and less functional educational paraphernalia. In addition, these calamities force teaching and non-teaching personnel to salvage these facilities and materials, thinking that it could still be useful for the learners to use. Aside from being exerting efforts and sacrifices, either financial or material, these school personnel are experiencing emotional and social depressions due to these calamities. Consequently, these school personnel victims have the same environmental tragedy that even flooding their houses and leaving traces of work destruction to mobilize them suffering. As we experience disasters brought by natural and man-made calamities, the Department of Education thinks of a better alternative to get rid of this environmental wrath. The introduction of school and division disaster risk reduction management. Our DRM focal person objectively mitigates these drastic and vast disasters. With this move, the Department of Education personnel will now bark at the correct tree. These DRRM advocacies and programs crafted by the Department of Education can initially assist our needy schools who experience the ripple effect of disasters. It is in this true ecological movie spirit the SDS Isabela launches the program TreeTY to advocate proper knowledge and skills integral development to the learners. This treaty strengthens the conceptual understanding of all the learners, teachers, officials, among others, and enlivens their caring support and ecological promotion in caring for the environment. Moreover, this program treaty will invigorate the advocacy until we reach the disaster-free environment that will start from the schools and go beyond other communities. While it is true that our learners be educated with the norms and standards of mitigating disasters, the role of the school requires to heighten awareness of all personnel. This sense of understanding and involving oneself in times of disaster progress awareness to saving others. To bark now at the right tree, the close coordination with the other government and non-government agencies will save lives, infrastructures during this disaster. Therefore, it promptly requires the institutionalization of this partnership to others. This program of the Division Treaty will somehow underscore paradigm shifting towards a free disaster school environment. In conclusion, the implications of understanding the importance of this treaty advocacy for education are profound. First, it urges everyone to examine how we create a safe school environment. Unfortunately, I was one of those people who grew up barking at the wrong tree. But as an adult and an educator this time, I realized why we bark at the correct tree and establish these actions in advocating a free disaster school environment. Therefore, let us involve ourselves, be part of this treaty advocacy. God bless everyone.
Well-respected officials and educational leaders of SDO Isabela, headed by the magnanimous Superintendent Dr. Madelyn Macalling, Dr. Dante Marcelo, our very supportive Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, the two chiefs, Dr. Rod Pascua and Dr. Jess Antonio, other officials, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me start my message with this lovely poem. I think that I shall never see a poem as lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the earth's sweet flowing breast. A tree that looks at God all day and lifts his leafy arms to pray. A tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair. Upon whose bosom has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. That poem is one of my most favorite. It is all about a tree which awakened in me the love and value for trees as a child. And until now, it's still my favorite. I do believe in the importance of trees and plants, but still many of us do not pay special attention to them. Humans and animals have been dependent on trees and plants since ancient times. In the Stone Age, the primitive men used to eat tuber roots, tree leaves, fruits, and branches. He used the leaves and barks of the trees to cover his body. He used the trees as shelter, and he climbed trees to avoid wild animals. The importance of trees in human life is like water without fish. We get shade, fruits, medicines, and woods or timber from the trees. Today, men wantonly cut trees without thinking of its devastating effects. Many floods have caused many lives because of too much deforestation. Look what happened during the onslaught of Typhoon Yolanda. Many lives have perished, and we could not afford that thing to happen again. So trees can be our best friends. They provide us so many things and expect nothing in return except love and care. They also help in making the air clean. They provide shelter to many animals. Their roots bind the soil and help it from being washed away by water or wind or floods. Our government is taking many steps for conserving trees. We should follow those steps in order to save our trees, because trees are the ones that support life on earth. Let us save trees not only for us today, but for the next generation. At this point, may I congratulate the DRRM unit for revitalizing our tree planting program under the leadership of Chris de la Cruz through the TreeTY program. Now what we would like to see is to institutionalize this program, and in response to government's program, plant 1 billion trees. So may I enjoin then everyone to participate in this laudable and lofty endeavor to save our Mother Earth and our environment. Through that, we will also be saving ourselves from the wrath of calamities and saving our earth for the next generation to come. With that, ladies and gentlemen, good luck and hope to see you all planting trees with us. Maraming salamat po.
ASDS, Ma'am Edna and Sir Dante, LD Chairs, the SDOD family headed by Sir Jess Antonio and the focal person, Sir Chris de la Cruz, the CID team family headed by Sir Rod, the unit heads headed by Ma'am Susan Bartolome, to all our external and internal stakeholders, distinguished guests, LGU officials, visitors, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good day. In one of the Shakespearean plays, the great William Shakespeare said, "These trees shall be my books." He said this not only because trees and books serve as places of comfort and meditation, nor because books come from trees, but more so because both trees and books are sources of life. Since the olden days, when many of the primitive lives depended their day-to-day survival from the abundance of trees, our connection with nature has been established that until today, we still benefit from what is considered the most important element of nature.
Little did we know that apart from the richness of oxygen we get from trees and the protection they provide us during floods and storms, trees have been a symbol of enlightenment since the beginning of times. Siddhartha Gautama Buddha, the pillar of the Buddhist tradition, received his enlightenment under a Bodhi tree. The great Sir Isaac Newton, whose contributions in the field of mathematics and science have propelled many developments and discoveries believed to have been bestowed with gigantic intellect when an apple fruit fell on his head while staying under a tree. Newton's discoveries since then have forever changed our views of the universe. And we owe it all to our trees. Thus, this Project TreeTY or Tree Thank You of the Schools Division of Isabela through the School Governance and Operation Division headed by the Chief, Dr. Jess Antonio, and the focal person, Sir Chris de la Cruz. It is relevant in our quest to give back to our nature and to our trees for their very crucial role in the advancement of the humanity. Much more, this project, which is in line with the government's national greening program, is a must undertake considering that our province is a catch basin during typhoons, which leaves many parts of Isabela submerged in flood water for weeks. This tree planting activity then is our saving grace in times of calamities. Aside from that, trees also help mitigate the effects of extreme heat, which for the past weeks had been experienced by the province. The alarming heat index in a number of places in the country also triggered heat stroke that took the lives of many of our country. That is, either in rainy season or in dry season, trees are always indispensable in nesting us to safety. So what we are about to do today is not only to save our environment, but also to save hundreds of thousands of lives. Congratulations to all of you.
Sa pagbubukas ng proyektong ito ngayong araw, 17 ng Hunyo, ay hatid nito ang pag-asa na mabawasan ng mga sakunang naghahatid ng pinsala, lalo higit sa sektor ng edukasyon kung saan apektado ang mga mag-aaral. Kasama sa layuning makapagtanim ng libu-libong puno ngayong araw ay ang pamunuan ng Dibisyon ng Isabela sa pangunguna ng aktibong Schools Division Superintendent Madelyn Macalling, 10 ng kanyang mga kasamahan. Ang pakikibahagi nilang ito ay isang pag-anyaya rin para sa mga distrito at paaralang nasasakupan upang ang lahat ay magsagawa rin ng malawakang pagtatanim ng puno. Ngunit hindi lamang sa araw na ito nagtatapos ang gawaing ito, dahil ang proyekto ay tatagal ng 3 buwan kung saan inaasahan na ang bawat paaralan, maging mga stakeholders ay makiisa rito para sa mas maayos at ligtas na komunidad. At bukod pa riyan, ang proyektong ito rin ay isasagawa 2 beses sa isang taon upang masiguro na ang bawat puno ay mabubuhay at patuloy na mapapangalagaan. Bagaman nagsama-sama ang lahat para sa isang magandang layunin, hindi pa rin kinaligtaan ang mga safety health protocols na dapat sundin upang makaiwas sa banta ng COVID-19. Siniguro na ligtas ang lahat at may tamang social distancing. Limitado man ang bilang ng mga dumalo para sa tree planting na ito, ay umaasa ang pamunuan na ang proyektong ito ay magtatagumpay sa pagkamit ng kanyang layunin kung ang bawat isa ay makikiisa at sa diwa ay sama-sama. Bawat isa sa atin ay may magagawa upang maiwasan ang napipintong sakuna. Kaya naman, anyayahan na sina ama at ina, ate at kuya sa pagtatanim ng punong sa ating magsasalba. Lalo higit na inaanyayahan ng mga paaralan na makibahagi sa proyektong ito sa kinaukulan kayo'y makipag-ugnayan. Naway ang hakbang nito ang maging daan upang sa susunod na henerasyon may preskong hangin pang malalanghap at sa sakunay aagap. Isang pangako ng lugar na puno ng puno ang siyang sa ating lilingat.